exclusively for Ancestral Voices. As you know, they've been on my show, the Philippe Matthews Show, many times. Of course, you know I'm Philippe Matthews, host of the Philippe Matthews Show. If you didn't, now you know. And Verona and Dalian are just absolutely amazing filmmakers. They've produced a 2, 3, 4, 5 part series on African spirituality. It's been absolutely amazing. And so I was asking them if they could produce like an e-course, like a 5-day e-course, a 6-day e-course, and they said yeah, and they did a video e-course, which is unbelievable. And so I said, you know what, we need to do a webinar and just give it away to the family for free and allow people to sign up to the e-course and experience for the first time African spirituality like they've never done before. So all the way live from the United Kingdom is Verona and Dalian Adolfo. Welcome, Ancestral Voices.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for having us, Philippe, once again. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Oh, it's just awesome. And we've had such a good time together as we've been building this out. And so for the people who will be watching this for the first time, talk to us about Ancestral Voices. What does it mean? Who is it? How did it come together?
Okay, yeah. Cool. So Ancestral Voices basically is a documentary series that has now expanded into a whole range of learning resources that was inspired by our own spiritual journeys as we started to question and research the area of African spirituality. Now, for most people out there, I'm sure you faced this, we definitely did in our journeys. When you do start asking questions and trying to find out more, people will normally shut you down and think, why are you even asking this? Or you're just constantly bombarded with information that's negative. So this is evil, it's witchcraft, it's voodoo, everything that you're supposed to stay away from. And we were just thinking, no, you know, there's more to this story. And as we started to research and learn more, we found that these teachings are the complete opposite of the negative propaganda that we all have been exposed to. So we felt compelled to start our first film, which was Ancestral Voices, Esoteric African Knowledge. We literally used our own funds. We traveled to Ghana. We met with traditional Akomfo over there. We spoke to them. We got the wisdom. And we spoke to a range of people, non-practitioners, various people, just to get their ideas on the topic. Because what we wanted to do was open up the platform for a debate. You know, once we start having a conversation, then we're more in a position to inform ourselves. But we found when we started our journey, which was now, 9 years ago, it wasn't really something that was highly spoken about. So at the time, the Ancestral Voices platform was like, wow, these people are really coming out with some controversial information I've never been exposed to before. Whereas now we can see that over time, the concept or discussion around African spirituality has expanded a lot. So it's just something that's grown from there. We decided to do a sequel documentary that took 5 years to make. And so that literally put a few wrinkles under our eyes. But wow. And we knew from the first film that we wanted to make something.
That film is going to be worth about $10,000, family, when we send it to America. Easy. That's like 5 years of knowledge. That's a price point. Okay, but we got some questions for you. Stick around.
Move the conversation forward. So the first film, as I said, kind of introduces the subject. It's a debate. Whereas the second film, we go into the philosophies that can be found consistently across the African continent, as well as the legacy in the diaspora as well. And in addition to that, one of the main feedback we got from the first film is that people felt they wanted some ritual practices. They wanted to know how they could apply this information to their life. Mm-hmm. So the sequel documentary, which is called Spirit is Eternal, also provides rituals that people can implement in their lives. And I'll allow Dalian to speak about the book and the courses now.
Yeah. So basically, as Verona has already touched upon, Ancestral Voices is a range of educational resources that aims to inform the viewer, listener, or reader about an actual African spiritual philosophy and practices. Okay, so the first film, Ancestral Voices, Esoteric African Knowledge, demystifies or deconstructs all the colonial stigma that has been put around the subject. That's what the first film actually does. And it shows you how particular media techniques are used to create fear around the topic so people do not engage with it. The second film, as Verona mentioned, that took 5 years. We traveled to Brazil, we traveled to South Africa, we traveled to Haiti, and the United States, where we had the pleasure to interview Professor James Smalls, the esteemed professor that he is. So the second film is a systematic exploration of what an African spiritual system actually looks like, so that it can encourage someone to actually begin a practice, because they not only understand the ideas or the philosophies that informs what you do. So as Verona said, from the first film, a lot of people were saying, okay, so you've broken down the veil of, should we call it, organized religion, but what do I do now? Friday is here, Sunday is here, I can't worship. How do I do that? So one of the key things we made sure to include in the film, because the philosophy informs your practice, so what people might call rituals. And this is how you attune yourself to natural forces and, to the all, the universal mind, the universal intelligence, And following on from that, we've not only released the films, but we also published a book of all our research findings over the 5 years. And that book is also called Ancestral Voices, Spirit is Eternal. So the sequel comes as a book and also as a film, okay? And both are complementary to each other. They're like learning guides, And then obviously, this is what we've been working on so far. We've even expanded into online courses in a range. And this is what brings us here, where we're presenting a 5-day study course for those who are interested and would like to know more.
Wow. Well, this 5-day e-course, and it's a video e-course, as I said earlier, is spectacular. I mean, it's just actually unbelievable what you guys have done, and the miles that you have traveled, the hours that you have spent doing a deep dive into this understanding of African spirituality. But that being said, for the people who have never heard of the term African spirituality and didn't even know that Africa had a spirituality, it is a spiritual practice. What is it? Define it.
Yes. Okay. So to define African spirituality, at its simplest, it's a science of the mind. That's what African spirituality is. It's a science of the mind and how you can use that mind to attune with natural cycles, processes, and events. Okay? And it's also essentially about the development of good character, because it's good character that ensures you becoming what in Buddhism people might call enlightenment, where you achieve this God consciousness, if you will. Yes? So that's what African spirituality is about. It's the ability to develop your mind to such a degree that you can operate in attunement with that universal mind. That's what African spirituality is.
Wow, fantastic. Verona, would you like to offer something on African spirituality?
Yeah, I would say, in addition to what Dalian said, I would say it's about connecting to a universal mind, but also it's about your connection with your wider environment as well. So it's about being able to tap into your internal potential, connect with the natural forces around you, as well as your own genetic lineage, your DNA, through ancestral reverence. And so between ancestral reverence and understanding your connection with nature and how you can utilize it and harness it in your life to benefit you in your life purpose, then I'd say all of those things entwined would describe African spirituality and how it is used to fulfill your ultimate destiny.
Fantastic. Now, for those who are watching, we're going to give you I want you to stick around because we're going to give you a special opportunity to enroll for free to their 5-day video e-course. We're going to pop that up in a moment so that you can have an opportunity. It's going to be, time sensitive because we can't give all this away for free forever. So it's only a certain group of people that are going to get this for free. And that's the people who are watching this webinar right now.